In my session 3 today, I'll be talking about the observations of mother tongue influence in speech. Earlier, I had spoken about mother tongue influence, I had spoken about second language and how these things work together. Alright, so today when I talk to you about how mother tongue influence can be observed in speech, I would like to say that mother tongue influence can be observed in terms of incorrect articulation, intonation and pronunciation. These are the three areas. Now when I say articulation, I simply want to say that articulation is about how you make an utterance. Alright, more when I move on to my next slide. Intonation is about the tone that we use. Very often we find that we use the tone of our mother tongue into a second language or a foreign language, and therefore the meaning or the importance of a particular utterance is not correct or it is lost. And the third is pronunciation. Pronunciation is articulation of words or sounds appropriately in any language. Now let's move on to see how mother tongue influence and articulation work together. Now when I talk about incorrect articulation, I am talking about uttering a consonant in the right way or the wrong way, usually the wrong way, so or a vowel sound. Now when I am talking about a wrong consonant, let us take this example, su for shoe. You must have heard many of them saying su instead of shu. So there is a change in the sound sir and sh. These are consonant sounds. So there is a misplacement of the consonant sound sir and sh. Or in the case of a vowel sound, for example, r for or. You must have found people saying this or that. So you are supposed to understand that this r means or. So incorrect articulation can be with uttering the consonant in the wrong way or a vowel sound the wrong way. Now elongation or clipping of a vowel sound. So the elongation meaning making the vowel sound longer than usual or making it smaller than it should be. For example, take the word edge. You must have found many people pronouncing edge as age, which is incorrect. Now this is because of a mother tongue influence. Alright. The next example is the word gone, where the vowel sound is shortened and therefore it becomes gun. He had gone there. I am sure you must have heard people saying this also. So articulation can be because of the consonant being uttered wrong or the vowel sound being uttered wrong, or the clipping or elongation of a vowel sound or a consonant sound. Now let me move on to my next issue, incorrect intonation. As I said, intonation has to do with the tone. Alright. Now non-standard use of syllable stress is a primary cause for confusion and misunderstanding. Let us try to understand what this is through some examples. Alright, let's take the first example about what is your name. Now you will find most of the Indian speakers uttering this sentence as what is your name, which means that the stress and the intonation is related to the word what. Now your intention is definitely to find out what the name is. So the right way of saying this would be not what is your name, but what is your name, because you want to lay stress on the word name. You want to find out what the person's name is and not why or what or where. So you get my point. The next example is I know what you mean. Now if you lay stress on the word mean, it is incorrect, because what you want to say is I know what you mean. So the stress should be on no, and therefore the intonation also changes. Alright. So these are some examples about intonation. Maybe we can discuss some more when we do the exercises. The third area is wrong pronunciation. Now there is a lot to be discussed in terms of pronunciation. Let's take the first case here, stressing on the wrong syllable. Communication for communication. So the stress should not be on shin as it is usually done because of mother tongue influence. Instead, it should be communication. Your stress would be on the K, C-A, the sound K. Alright. The second example, probably. You find most of them saying probably. Alright. Now, the correct would be stress on the word probably. The first three alphabets there. Probably and not probably. Alright. The third one is again not industry but industry. So the stress is on dustry, not on dustry but on in. Alright. So these are certain things that we have to learn to develop because we want to speak good English. Alright. Now there are some more examples that I would like to bring to your notice. Take the word project. Alright. Now there are two ways of pronouncing this word. One is project and the other is project. Alright. Now when you say project, the PRO is pronounced long. The meaning here is being understood as taking up a task, doing some work. You have a task in hand, you have to take up a project. Alright. And the next one here, when the PRO is smaller, project means that there is a projection, something that is poking out, jutting out. Alright. There is a projection from this wall, which means that probably there is a nail or something that is projecting out, jutting out of the wall. So there are changes in the meaning of the same word depending on the stress that you apply. Alright. And this depends, again, is related to your pronunciation. Now since we are talking so much about mother tongue influence, I'd like to just give you a list of few words that we constantly find people using without realizing that they are not using the English version of the word correctly, mainly because they have been influenced by the mother tongue. Take the word Rishka, when the correct word is actually a rickshaw. Alright. Then you have people saying jink for zinc. A regional accent or a regional pronunciation of the word snack is also snake. People buy a lot of snakes. Alright. Then you must have heard people saying zero for zero, crore for crore, school for school. You have a computer for a computer, and so on. I hope I have been able to explain to you how intonation and stress work together and how correct pronunciation with stress, with right intonation, can give the right meaning and not change the meaning. Now let me move on to give you some more examples of mispronounced words. The list is not conclusive, and therefore I have just taken up a few words and I would like to go through them individually with you. I have given you at the end of this list a site where you can go and refer to some more words and how they are exactly pronounced. Let's take the first three words on this list. The first one is cabin, the correct pronunciation being cabin and not cabin. You will find that in my slides the right word is marked in green while the wrong is in red. Alright. So I repeat again, this is not a cabin but a cabin. The second word data is data and not data, as many of us pronounce. The third word, which has been making circles in many of our states here, is dengue and not dengue. dengue is dengue and not dengue. Let me move on to some more words. In my second list, I have this word dessert, which is to be pronounced as desert and not desert. When you say desert, you are talking about a Thar desert, which has, we are talking about a hot land, lot of sand, and a desert, which you are always talking about, refers to some kind of a place where there is no water. Whereas here you are talking of a dessert, which is maybe a sweet dish or some kind of food you are ordering after you've had a meal, a sweet dish maybe. So that's a dessert and not desert. The next word is bowl, which should be pronounced as bowl and not as bowl. Many of us do it. We say bowl instead of bowl. The next word is truth, where the word correct pronunciation would be truth and not truth, where the TRU is shortened. In fact, TRU is to be elongated and therefore it is truth and not truth. The seventh word is maybe a word that is not used very often but pronounced wrongly by many who use them. EPITOME is an epitome and not an epitome. Epitome, not epitome. The third list has a few words again. EXECUTIVE is executive and not executive as most of us pronounce it. Executive, not executive. DEVELOP is develop and not develop as most of us again pronounce it as. So develop and not develop. The next word is something which most of us use. I don't know how you pronounce it as, but the correct pronunciation here is a pizza and not pizza. There is a slight pronunciation of the D sound when you pronounce pizza. The next word is Wednesday and not Wednesday as many of us pronounce it. The D sound here is silent and therefore it's a simple Wednesday. The next list has another 3 words. OPPOSITE is opposite and not opposite. The same goes for the word opportunity and it's not opportunity. The 13th word on my list is BIOLOGY and it is not biology but biology. Alright, if you stress it, if you break it up into syllables, syllables are smaller units of a word. So you have biology, geology, zoology and not biology, zoology, geology. Is that clear? Okay. The 14th word here is MONK and is to be pronounced as monk and not monk. Alright, as many of us do very often. Now let me tell you that these pronunciations happen the wrong way because we've been hearing people saying it over and over again. Alright, if we had people, the right model speaking to us in good English, maybe these errors wouldn't have happened. So I'm just taking this opportunity to correct you and tell you that these are some of the words that we use very often and they can be corrected. Now there is a list. There's an inconclusive list that you can still go through if you search, and I've also given you a link, as I said, at the end of the list. Now my 5th slide here has another 5 words. Let's look at them. GENRE. Now this is a word or a term very often used in literature or in the film industry when you're talking about a genre and not a genre. It's not a genre either, it's a genre. Alright, you're talking about a play, you're talking about a novel, or you're talking about poetry, all these, or a short story, these are all genres. Alright. The next word CACHE is also a word that you will find when you use your phones. You want to clear your cache. Alright, so it's CASH, it's pronounced as cache. Alright, the spelling is CACHE but pronounced as cache as in CASH. The next word is SALON. Alright, it is to be pronounced as a salon and not as saloon. Again, a common utterance by most of us. It is to be pronounced as salon and not saloon. POLICE is police and not police. Alright. The last word that I have here on this list is GAUGE, which is to be pronounced as gauge and not as gauge. You will find many of them saying gauge. Maybe this is mixing up with some of the regional terms that are probably used for some other purpose, but the correct pronunciation of this word is you gauge something. Alright, GAUGE. In this list I have another few words. The word pronunciation is often mispronounced as pronunciation. Alright, this is because of the stress factor, the intonation and stress factor. The stress is on the second syllable. The first syllable is PRO, the second one is NUN. So the syllable becomes shortened and it's no longer noun but none. So it's pronunciation. The correct pronunciation would be pronunciation and not pronunciation. Alright. The next word is ALMOND, which is a kind of a nut. Alright. The right pronunciation is almond and not almond. The next word here I have is BURY, and the right pronunciation is berry as in BERRY and not bury or bury. Alright. The 23rd word on my list here is ELITE, which is to be pronounced as elite. He belongs to an elite society, alright, and not an elite society. TOMB is a tomb where B is silent, and it's not to be pronounced as tomb. The B is silent and therefore it is just tomb. The last word on my list here is HEART, which is a heart and not the hurt. Your hurt is not strong, but your heart is strong. Alright? I would like to conclude with this list, and maybe I would like to encourage you to look up on some more words with their right pronunciations and see how they are to be pronounced if you want to speak good English. I would suggest that you go up to the site that I have put up here and check out for yourself what the words are and how they are to be pronounced. Thank you.